What is up YouTube? We're underleveled. My name is Taka and today I'm gonna be going over a super fun sticky KO Light Bowgun build that'll keep the monster grounded and open for punishing DPS for you or your team. So let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna be going over the build but also how KO works and the actual numbers you'll need to hit in order to KO the monster. So make sure to watch the whole video because understanding how KO works will also allow you to save on ammo, and ammo management is very important for this build, unless you don't mind going back to camp to stock up mid-hunt. I do that for casual runs, so it's really not that bad. But if you already know how KO works, then I'll leave the timestamp in the description down below so you can just skip to the good stuff. Huge shout out to Angbada11 for the actual KO numbers. It was a lot of help, so go check out his channel for awesome Monster Hunter Rise content. But let's get right into the video. And if you enjoy this kind of content, then consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out a lot and we really appreciate it. Okay, so first we're going to be going over the build, and then we're going to be going over all the numbers and exactly what's needed to KO the monster every time. Here are the skills we have for this build. We have all the KO necessities: spare shot 3, slugger 3, ammo up 3, recoil down 3, and reload speed 2. Now, we want to conserve as much ammo as possible, as you only can carry enough materials to craft 39 additional sticky 3 ammo on top of the 9 sticky 3 ammo that you can carry. So that's only 48 shots. So we want spare shot level 3 to try to get as much shots as possible. Then ammo up and reload speed is needed to be able to get those stickies on the monster as fast as possible. Okay, so here's the armor pieces. We'll be using the Magnamalo Sinister Shadow Bolt Light Bowgun, as it has sticky 3 and an assortment of other fantastic ammo types that you can use during the KO DPS window. It also has really nice deco slots. We also have the Vike Helm S, Renaplos Mail S, Rathalos Braces S, Anjanath Coil, and Basilgeuse Greaves. Now, just like the other builds, your build might be slightly different depending on what talismans you have. But that's the reason why I gave you the must-have skills earlier, so you can adapt your build depending on what talismans you have. But I have a Slugger level 3 with a 311 deco slot. But for this specific build, it would still work if my talisman only had a single level 2 deco slot. Now here are the decorations that I used. I have 1 capacity jewel, 3 thrift jewels, 3 attack jewels, 3 absorber jewels, and 2 quick load jewels. I also had 2 extra level 1 slots, so I just slotted in 2 free meal decos, cause why not, right? Alright, so we know what we have to work with, but how do you use this build to KO the monster? Well, we're gonna have to look at some numbers to figure that out. Luckily, it's very easy. If we head over to kiraniko.com, we can find out the initial amount of KO damage we need to proc that first KO, as well as the build-up and the cap. The build-up is the additional KO needed to proc the next KO. For example, if we look at Tetranodon, its initial KO damage threshold is 120. We'll have to do 120 KO damage to get that first knockout. Then the build-up is 100, so that means to proc the next KO, we'll have to do 220 KO damage. That's 120 original damage plus the 100 build-up damage. Now the cap is 520. That means once the build-up hits 520, so after the 5th KO, it won't go up anymore and it'll take 520 KO damage to KO the monster for the rest of the hunt. Okay, great, so what about this build? Well, with Sticky 3 and Slugger level 3, we have a total of 120 KO damage per Sticky 3 shot. Well, great, but that's not quite enough to KO Tetranodon with a single shot. Not yet, at least, because we still have more we can do. Because if we also eat for Dango Slugger, that'll give us an extra 10% KO damage. So now, with Sticky 3, Slugger level 3, and Dango Slugger, that'll give us a final number of 123.2 KO damage. That's enough to KO Tetranodon with a single shot. Since the buildup is an additional 100, that means the next KO will proc at 220 KO damage, which means it'll take 2 shots of Sticky 3, and so on until you hit the 5th KO. Now during your knockout DPS window, I personally like to use Slicing or Spread mixed with Wyvern Blasts, but you can honestly use whatever you want. Now if you want a bit more damage at the cost of consistency, then you can always do a weakness exploit version of this build. You'll first need a talisman with weakness exploit level 2 with at least one level 2 deco slot, but if you have a better one, then you can get even more damage out of this. But by swapping out the Rathalos braces for the Anjanath Vam braces, you'll now have full 3 levels of weakness exploit with 4 levels of attack. But honestly, the damage difference between the two is very small, equivalent to about one slicing shot or about 80 to 140 more damage. One extra shot worth of damage isn't really huge unless you're a speedrunner, but for me personally, I prefer the consistency of raw attack. But again, it's all personal preference. But there you have it, a really fun KO Light Bowgun build that's great for playing solo as well as with a group. You'll be knocking out the monsters so much, it's hilarious. But if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit that like button as well as subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications for more Monster Hunter Rise content. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.